The first letter showed up in my mailbox in bold red ink, stamped, "Notice of Violation." I already knew who it was from before I even unfolded the paper. The local HOA had a reputation for being overzealous, but this time, they'd set their sights directly on me. "Your boat must be removed from view immediately," the letter read. "Boats are not permitted to be stored on residential property, and failure to comply will result in fines of $250 per day." I had to laugh. My boat wasn't sitting in the driveway or even on a trailer by the garage. It was tied up neatly at the dock on the lake. My lake. Still, I figured it was a mistake. Some overzealous board member who didn't bother checking the records. But then came the second letter and the third, each more aggressive than the last. The final one warned that they would take further legal action if I refused to comply. That's when I decided it was time to remind them of a little detail they'd overlooked. One Saturday morning, while I was tinkering with the boat engine, I heard the crunch of tires on gravel. I turned to see a group of HOA board members marching down the path in polo shirts and clipboards, Karen in the lead as usual. "There it is," she shouted, pointing at my boat as if she'd uncovered a crime scene. "You're in violation of community guidelines. Boats must be stored off-site or in concealed storage." I raised an eyebrow. "It's in the water. Where exactly do you expect me to store it?" "In compliance with HOA rules," Karen snapped, shoving her clipboard under my nose. "Section 22, paragraph A, no boats visible on residential lots. That includes docks. Remove it immediately." I leaned against the railing, fighting the urge to laugh. "Karen, you do realize this isn't a subdivision pond, right? This is a lake, which is under HOA jurisdiction," she shot back triumphantly. "We manage the common areas for all residents. That lake belongs to the neighborhood." Now I couldn't help but grin. "Actually, no, it doesn't." Karen blinked. "Excuse me?" I pulled a folder from the dock box, one I'd been keeping handy for just this moment. Inside was the deed signed, notarized, and filed with the county. "See this? This entire lake, from shoreline to center, is privately owned by me. When I bought this land, the lake came with it. Your HOA doesn't have a single legal claim over it." The group murmured in shock, flipping through the pages I handed them. Karen's face reddened. That can't be right. The HOA's bylaws clearly state, "Bylaws don't override property deeds," I interrupted. "The lake isn't common property. It's my property, which means every time your members use it, kayaking, swimming, fishing, they're on my land. And up until now, I've been gracious enough not to charge access fees." The murmurs grew louder. One of the board members looked nervous. "Wait, are you saying you could restrict us from the lake altogether?" "Exactly," I said. "I could close it off tomorrow if I wanted to. Put up gates, no trespassing signs, and have violators cited. But I haven't because I enjoy sharing it with the community. What I don't enjoy is being threatened by people who don't understand the limits of their authority." Karen's jaw dropped. "You can't just—" "Yes, I can," I said firmly. "And unless you want your entire HOA banned from using this lake, you're going to withdraw these violation notices, issue a public correction, and stop harassing me. Otherwise, I'll file trespassing restrictions against the entire subdivision." The group went silent. Karen sputtered, but none of her fellow board members backed her up. One finally stepped forward, handing the folder back to me. "We will review this at the next meeting. Thank you for clarifying." They shuffled away, embarrassed, while Karen lingered behind, fuming. "You may own the lake," she hissed, "but you don't own the neighborhood." I gave her a calm smile. "Maybe not, but I own the water under your kayaks, the fish your kids catch, and the dock your residents use every summer. So I'd rethink your tone." Her glare could have cut glass, but she turned and stomped after the others. That evening, as the sun set over the rippling water, I took the boat out for a quiet ride. The reflection of the sky stretched across the lake, undisturbed, peaceful. My lake. Karen had thought she could order me around with her bylaws and fines. What she didn't know was that the lake her HOA claimed to manage wasn't theirs at all. It was mine. And in the end, there's no rulebook in the world that can overrule ownership.